What's happening, guys? We're back and we're gonna bend up a roll cage today. Alright guys, I know I said that we were gonna look at shortening that Mazda Miata rack and get that figured out for the steering system. Two things are preventing that. One, I dry fit that rack into the front of the chassis here the other week, and it actually looks like it might work just the way it is. I think my suspension's a little bit wider than kind of the typical LoCost design, so we might not even have to shorten it, which would actually be ideal. You know, we don't get to have the experience of cutting it up and seeing what's inside, but we don't have to cut and weld on steering components, and we also get to retain our factory power steering. So that'll be nice. So I'm gonna leave that for a minute, figure out what we want to do with that. The other thing is we have an opportunity this week to go up to Trigger Industries and use their hydraulic tubing bender to bend up our roll cage. So we're gonna take that opportunity while we have it. So the goal today, I wanna get all of our tubes bent up. To do that though, I wanna haul the chassis up to Trigger. I don't wanna work off drawings. I think it's better to just have the actual car there and do it all on the car. So we need to load up the chassis. In order to do that, we need to strip everything off of it. It's too heavy to carry it around with the motor. So first thing we're gonna do today, pull that motor back out. All right, we got the engine and trans out. It was a bit of a struggle. I tried taking it out with the shift lever still on it, and it was just never gonna work. It's too tall. So pulled that off, capped the transmission off so that we won't get dirt into that hole. Next step is we're gonna throw the roll cage mounting plates on. The chassis side ones are all welded on, but we need to bolt up the roll cage side ones. So we'll bolt those up. The ones for the main hoop, we're gonna bolt plate to plate. The ones for the front hoop, we're actually gonna throw two washers in between the chassis plate and the roll cage plate. And that'll give us a little bit of distance there for when we put a body panel on. We can just sandwich that body panel in between the two plates and just bolt right through them. So we'll do that, and then we'll load up the chassis and all the tubing that we bought for the roll cage and head up to Trigger. All right, we got the chassis and the trailer and all our tubing. Let's go see about bending it.
Still
All right, we got the main hoop done. Now I gotta measure up and draw the front hoop. All right, guys, I could not be happier with those. We got the front and the rear hoop all bent up, and then we also bent up a couple of candy canes to do the rear kind of down bars. I wasn't 100% sure on what those were gonna look like, so we just threw a couple of 65-degree bends into a pipe so we can kind of figure that out as we go. So, huge thanks to Landon up at Trigger Industries. I'm gonna throw a link to his website and to his Instagram account below. Go check him out. He does really cool custom mud flaps, probably the best mud flaps that you can buy right now. So if you guys have a truck that you need mud flaps for, go support the guys that support us. He also does some really cool kind of custom work on the side for sleds and whatnot. So go check him out. He put everything on hold today to let us get the bender out and do these. So big thanks to him. Next week we're gonna continue on the cage. We need to cut the tails off of these tubes and then cope them and mount them and everything. So hopefully by the end of next week we can have the cage fully tacked together and ready to go. So in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. Go check us out on Instagram, LeftfootFirst Media, and we'll see you next week. I'm out of here.